Let's be honest, we are all a mess, and that is the common ground that we must come together and pick each other up. Hey, Atchison, Kansas. Hey, my friends, my name is Jeff Yalden. I've had several people in your community reach out asking for help. I don't know if you remember me. I've been in your community in the past. I'm a teen mental health speaker, consultant, and teen suicide prevention and crisis intervention expert. I've spent 25 years working all over the world, speaking and working with school communities to prevent suicides and helping communities answer the hardest questions about teen mental health and teen suicide. First and foremost, I'd like to offer my most sincere condolences to the whole community, family, friends. I know as of late, you've been dealing with some hardship. I don't know much about what you've been dealing with, but I know it's been a great loss and it's had huge effect on everybody. Family, friends, classmates, teachers, staff, school community. Folks, I just want to say I'm sorry. I can imagine the questions you all have and the pain that is sitting in your hearts. I get it, my friends, I know. I'm going to tell you this. Words can't adequately describe the pain that I feel in my heart when I hear the death of a young person, or two, or three, or it doesn't matter. It could be one, it could be two. It crushes me. I get it, though, my friends. I understand the pain. I understand where young people are and what they're going through, and there's so much that is involved. Yeah, I think it's 90% mental illness, but I'm also going to say coping skills and problem-solving skills. It's expectations, pressures, a feeling of I'm alone or I'm a burden. Then it's a habituation to physiological pain and fearsome experiences, to repeated exposure to painful and provocative events that gives that desire for suicide, and that breaks my heart. But where else does this come from? Listen, I think cell phones, social media, internet, pressures, colleges, grades, friends, and so much more play a significant role day to day, adding up to more and more pressures to handle. Listen, I don't think kids want to die, but I do know that suicide ends up being where they think the solution is too far out there, that the individual doesn't see a solution to solve their problems in the here and the now, that they think that they'll never be able to solve them and move on. Our youth live in the here and the now, but so is everything for them. I mean, we have texting and cell phones. I mean, cell phones, you instantly make a phone call, text someone, connected. We've got Snapchat and Instagram where you immediately get likes, and if you don't get enough likes, you take the picture down. Life isn't in the right now. Life isn't a race. Life's a journey. It's teaching our children about patience in the process as you go after your goals and dreams. But I mean, what about college? What about college? Do you think perhaps we're giving these kids a false sense of success when we tell them, go to college or go here and get this degree and boom, success? What if they're not ready, or your plan for them isn't their plan for themselves? The expectations are so great, but when expectations aren't met, they're left to be disappointed, and they never want to disappoint you, parents. They never want to disappoint their teachers, their coaches, their friends, or what if they disappointed themselves? I'm pro-education, but our children are growing up later than they were 15, 30 years ago, and yet they have access to so much that it's frightening, and they're scared. Folks, this is my work. It's never easy to hear about a suicide or listening to young people and their pain that they're having in their hearts with life. It's life circumstances and situations, challenges, obstacles, and so much more. Like you're expected to have it all figured out. Really? Ask any trusted adult in your life what their plan was at 17 or 23 years old. I want to be very careful in the words that I use and how I say what I want to say. And please understand, my intentions are pure. My heart hurts for you all. Not one person in your community isn't affected by what you've been dealing with. I was once there. I understand. After a suicide, or a couple, we're left asking questions. A young person, so much to live for, makes a forever decision to end their life. To end their life by suicide. Why? How? I mean, how does one get so hopeless or feel that suicide is the only option? Our system is broken, my friends. It's flawed. Our youth are growing up in a broken system in America, and America has a responsibility. But I also think we have a bigger responsibility. I think we have a responsibility to each other and to ourselves to ask better questions, not like, why me, or why this, or why that. But I think when we start asking better questions like, how? You know what I think it's important? Getting to know who you are and being comfortable with who you are not. The most important thing in life, if you ask me right now, for our teenagers, is self-esteem. My friends, value yourself. Value yourself more than any person, more than any place, more than anything. Make good choices. Attitude. Never realized the importance of attitude till I accepted that I'm a man that lives with mental illness. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Confidence. Folks, just breathe. And I'll tell you something. It's okay to ask for help. I think that's the mentally strong person. I want you to slow down a little bit. Stop racing. Relax. It's going to be okay. I'm not saying that what you're dealing with right now, in the right now, it's going to be okay, but another thing, my friends, life doesn't happen fast like you're used to. Text and immediate response. Phone call and someone's always there. ATM, cash spits out. Social media and likes. We're all growing up in a superficial world, and it's having its way with our youth. I mean, adults too, but adults, for the most part, have learned how to cope and process their pain and their issues. My friends, you can't let life own you. There's balance, there's boundaries, there's self-care, there's time out. And you know what I think is one of the most important things? Turn your phone off. I think we should have mandated phone off time. I think another thing, 3 things I think is really important for young people today. And parents, you need to enforce this every day, every day. Number 1, sleep. Young people need 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep. And if your kid's ugly, they need more. Number 2, nutrition. You know what relates directly to depression? Sugar. And our kids are consuming way too much sugar. Number 3, get involved. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry. My heart hurts. Listen, again, I don't think young people want to die. I think young people get caught up seeing this problem and that they don't see a solution right now that they can solve and that they can move on. And so they're caught up thinking that maybe suicide is their only option. Also, my theory on teen suicide, a person feels that they're a burden to others, meaning they don't make any notable contributions to the world, or they feel that they're a liability and they're disappointing someone. Family, friends, teammates, part-time co-workers, I don't know. Or also a person feels that they're alone, meaning they don't have any meaningful relationships. You have burden, meaningful relationships, and if this pain in their heart lasts long enough, they start to have that desire to want to end their life. Folks, this is life, my friends. It's not easy. It's not fair. Life will never be fair. But we learn and grow every day. That's life. That's where self-esteem comes from. You wake up every day, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you dance. And I'm going to tell you something. You walk out those doors, I promise you, on the other side of fear, on the other side of situations and obstacles, self-esteem. And you look back and you say, I did that. And don't let anyone ever take that away from you. But my friends, you have to do the work. Also, mental illness and depression. It's at 90% of suicides. I don't know much about what you're going through, but I do know that 90% of suicides are preceded by clues that we didn't notice. I mean, why should we notice when we aren't looking for it? I understand. And folks, the individuals that are on the school's radar aren't necessarily the ones that we need to look out for. Today, it's a lot of school communities saying to me, Jeff, we didn't even know there was a problem. There were no signs. This is the last person we would have suspected. I understand. Mental illness shouldn't be labeled and have a stigma that goes with it. Mental illness, or I should say, the mentally strong are the ones that aren't afraid to ask for help and don't let people that judge them affect them because they know they're doing the right thing. And as a result, they feel better than they've ever felt. And so what can all of us do better? I'm simply saying, I'm proud of you for asking for help. We can say that. Listen, the best thing I've ever done for myself, being a man that lives with mental illness, is asking for help and continue to seek help and practice self-care. That's my priority every single day, every day. Folks, I say my prayers and my thoughts, but I also want to make sure that we don't have copycats. Having said that, I want to address blame and pointing fingers. This isn't the time, nor is it the right thing to do. We're all emotionally charged. We're in the process of grieving. We're angry. Understandably, I get that we're pointing fingers. I hear all too often, the school should do something, or why aren't they doing something? No school administrator is ever given a certificate on how to handle a suicide, and every suicide is different. Not that this is right or it's wrong, but every suicide is different and affects the school community differently. When I talk to school administrators, I tell them you've got two responsibilities. Responsibility number one, you protect those kids that walk through your doors. And responsibility number two, you protect your staff and your teachers. They're hurting too. Folks, everyone is in pain. And the best thing we can do is we can show our support. You might not like it, but it's not our place to like it or to not like it. And we all need to step back and look at the big picture objectively. This is all of our issue. We all need to do better. I need to do better. Parents need to do better. Teachers need to do better. We need to do better listening, being present, being engaged. We need to do better asking for help, loving more, judging less, forgiving others, and we need to do better at forgiving ourselves. Copycats, oftentimes a suicide can trigger strong suicidal ideation amongst others. That's always a major concern, and we want to cut that off quickly. My friends, ask for help. Students, please know you have a great responsibility too. If you see something, say something. You're so instrumental in saving a life, and please know it's okay to ask for help. What you might be feeling today doesn't mean that it's your future. Folks, it gets better. Life gets better. Today is temporary. You will grow from what you're going through. Listen, life situations, struggles, challenges, breakups, whatever you're going through, my friends, life does not happen to us. But everything we go through happens for us, because everything we experience in life shapes us and conditions us. Everything teaches us. We grow through life's challenges and the tough times. The responsibility is simple. If we are going to have internet and cell phones and social media platforms, then our government needs to provide the adequate care for what this brings. Simply put, we are giving young people rights and privileges that they're not emotionally capable of handling. And the consequences that this brings, without even knowing, it leads to so many things. I mean, self-harm, sadness, depression, mental health issues. And ultimately, in the end, if we don't ask for help, it leads to suicide. Suicide can be prevented. This is a parent's issue. And parenting today is a greater responsibility than it ever has been. But not just a parent's issue, it's also society's issue in how we deal with this and how we move forward. It's also a personal responsibility to be your best advocate. It's okay to ask for help. You don't have to have answers to what you're going to do in life right now. You don't need to compare yourself to your friends. You don't need to think about your significance in the world or what your legacy is going to be right now. We need to teach and learn coping skills and problem-solving skills. Education as a whole, it needs to change. We need to focus more on social and emotional learning. I'm pro-education, but I see flaws in the system. We're graduating young people without them being prepared to jump into the world of uncertainty and struggles and the unknown, yet our expectations continue to bring great disappointment, and then our kids think that they're a burden or that they're alone in this world because they haven't figured it out yet. Figured out what? It's everyday lessons in tough times that teach us incredible lessons. My friends, you got to grind through it. It will be okay. Yeah, pretty simple. We need to give our youth the tools to be successful in life. Not do it for them, not cushion their blow. Give them the tools. But in the meantime, I'm going to tell you, we need adequate mental health care and counseling. And more importantly, we need more people talking about it. So I challenge you, get comfortable being uncomfortable talking about mental health. Because the more we talk about it, the greater difference that we can make in our communities. But we have that responsibility to reduce the stigma. We need more involved parents. We need young people to open up and talk. My friends, ask for help. It's not a weakness. It's part of growing up. How can people help if our young people aren't asking for help? You see, we don't know. If we don't know, then we can't help. I'm in counseling myself, yet I counsel thousands every single month. But I'll tell you what I've learned as a result of counseling. I know who I am and why I'm in counseling and why I'm on medication. You see, I challenge you to do something I've learned to do every day. I look in the mirror. I like what I see. Hasn't always been that way, though. You feel me? Let me tell you something. You look in the mirror and you don't like that reflection looking back. Don't blame it on the mirror, my friends. Take responsibility. Ask better questions. Spend more time in the mirror being comfortable, being uncomfortable. You'll start figuring it out. You will. I challenge you, as you look in the mirror, be more concerned with who you are as a person rather than how you look. Life will change when you take care of this, not so much this. Listen, my parents and teachers and adults, our youth ask two questions every single day. And whether you're a teacher, a coach, a parent, anyone, we need to answer these two questions. Question number one, can I trust you? And question number two, do you care about me? These two questions are the cornerstone of every trusted relationship. We all need to do a better job. Education, our government, teachers, coaches, parents, me, you, us. But most importantly, you personally. Take responsibility. Be your own best advocate. I can't emphasize this enough, my friends. It's okay to ask for help. And so I close, I'd like to offer some suggestions as you all move forward. I'd like to invite each and every one of you to open your heart today and forever. And to know that you have trusted adults and friends always wanting to be there to help you answer life's toughest questions, or maybe just I believe in you, you can do this, it's going to be okay, I care about you. Don't ever be afraid to ask for help. And remember, you matter, my friends. Don't ever think that you're alone. Don't ever feel that you're a burden to your family or to society. And a quick message to our teachers and staff members. Thank you. Remember the difference you make every single day. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for you. Every single day, you make a difference. So many questions, yet so few answers. Folks, we're all responsible. We need to move forward together and for each other and for our young people. It's a very sad time. I appreciate you reaching out to me. It's a time that affects us all greatly. But it's a time where we're growing and we're being shaped as a result of what we're going through. But folks, you're not a victim. You're a victor. Because no matter what you go through, it does one of two things. It either exposes wounds or it builds muscles. It's your choice how you respond. But I want to allow you to grieve on your terms. There's no timetable. But I want you to go through the process. I'm sorry, my friends. I wish I can say more or do something greater. Suicide and mental health is becoming an economic issue. And folks, we need you. We need your voice. We need you all to speak up. I love you, my friends. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Stay beautiful, Atchison. I'm thinking of you all. I've always been a huge fan of the community. And I'll tell you, there's people in the community that are working right now to get me to come back out there. So when I come out there, I look forward to seeing you all. God bless each and every one of you.